What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Nash, and in this video I'm going to be talking about some of the things that you need to learn as soon as you graduate from college. These are things that I already knew and some things that I had to learn. And this is because when you're in college, you are kind of like sheltered, right? You have a meal plan. Maybe you live in the dorms, or maybe, you have a schedule when to go to class, you have you need to go to this organization and things like that. But once you graduate, things kind of like flip, right? You don't have a schedule anymore. You don't have a meal plan. You gotta buy your own food. You have to decide what you want to eat. You don't have classes to go to. You don't have organizations that are on campus. You're just on your own. So things change. So these are some of the things that I've learned and some of the things that I think everyone should learn as soon as they graduate from college. Feel free to add more things on the comment section of this video, and maybe we can make a part two. So the first one's going to be learning how to cook, right? If you're in college, you might have a meal plan where food is already made for you. You don't have to cook. If you live in a dorm, you're probably not even allowed to cook, right? Maybe you might be using a microwave or something like that. But you need to learn how to cook. This is going to save you so much money. You can compare how much you spend on groceries to how much you would spend in a week eating out, right? Buying breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or maybe just lunch and dinner. You're gonna see that you're spending a lot of money. So learning how to cook is a skill that a lot of people don't really have. If you don't know how to cook as you learn, you can just eat ramen, right? I did that for a while. You can eat ramen. It's easy to make. You can throw that in the microwave and it's ready to go. But you need to learn how to cook. You can learn on YouTube. That is probably one of the best resources that you can use, which is YouTube. There's so many people that teach you how to cook anything on YouTube, different ways, different cultures. And I would definitely not recommend purchasing a book with like recipes where you have to pay money for it when you can just learn on YouTube for free. Learn how to cook. Once you learn how to cook, start meal prepping, right? You can meal prep for the entire week. That's what I usually do. I'll cook on Sundays and I'll meal prep for the entire week so I don't have to cook every day. I can just grab my food out of the fridge, warm it up, and eat that. So I'm already saving myself a lot of time and a lot of money. Now, the next one is going to be going to the gym. You need to start working out. You might have caught a little bit of that freshman 15 when you're in college, when you kind of like gain weight in college because of the meal plans that you have where, you just have kind of like unlimited access to food, right? But once you graduate, you need to start working out. You got to get your body in shape. That is how you represent yourself out there, especially for someone that like me or someone that works in business where you have to stand in front of clients. I realize that working out, boosts your confidence. If you feel good about your body and you feel good standing up in front of clients, you just feel great. And it's also healthy on top of that. So start working out. When I graduated, my case was I was skinny. I wanted to gain a little more weight. I found myself in corporate meetings where I looked younger than I was simply because I was just a skinny little guy, right? So I had to learn to eat more as well as work out while I was doing that. And I kind of like gained a little weight now, so maybe I'm gonna gain a little more and keep working out. But you need to start working out. Maybe in college you don't have enough time to go to the gym because you have classes, you have all these things that you have to do, and you don't have enough time to work out. But once you graduate, you got to make the time. Now the next one is going to be, as you move out of student housing, you might move into an apartment that is not student housing. I recommend getting renter's insurance. If anything happens to the apartment, things get stolen, the apartment burns down, it's gonna be covered under that insurance, and it's not even that expensive. You pay like between $8 and $13. The lowest I've seen is $8. The highest I've seen is $13. That's gonna be per month. Please get renter's insurance. It's gonna save you so much money just in case something gets stolen, or maybe there's a hurricane that messes up your apartment, right? You want to make sure that you're covered. That is probably one of the cheapest forms of insurance that you can just go and get. Renter's insurance, get that. It's gonna help you so much. Now the next one is gonna be using apartment locators. So if you're looking for a new apartment, instead of driving around doing tours, doing this, driving from apartment to apartment, use apartment locators. You can just Google apartment locators in this city, and you're going to be connected to some people that you're going to tell what type of apartment you're looking for, what type of neighborhood or city, and they're going to be able to narrow down exactly what you're looking for. And your job is going to be to see if the apartment is somewhere that you want to stay. And the cool thing is it's free because they get paid by the apartment complex or the person that owns the apartment, right? They're bringing in residents, right? You pay monthly rent, the apartment gains. So you don't even have to pay these apartment locators. They're usually free. Look them up online. They're usually going to be free because they get paid for bringing in residents to these apartments. My first year out of college, I didn't know that was a thing, so I drove from apartment to apartment to apartment to apartment. Sometimes you take time off work just to go look at these apartments. So definitely use those apartment locators. Now, the next one is going to be purchasing a survival kit, right? You can purchase this on Amazon and they come in different sizes. Sometimes it comes in form of a backpack, and if you open the backpack, it has everything you need to survive in an emergency. Some of the things are maybe a first aid kit. There's a bunch of things in there. You might have to learn how to use those things. I know I have one that has a first aid kit, a thermal blanket, an emergency tent. It's a lot of things like glow sticks. A lot of things that come in that. I think it's really important to prepare for emergencies because you never know what might happen. I know that in San Antonio, where I stay, a couple years ago, the power was out. It was freezing outside. Stores were closed. There was no food. You couldn't drive anywhere because there was snow. It never snows out here, so nobody wanted to drive. There's accidents in the road, and it was like that for a couple of days, with no electricity. So in times like that, you need an emergency kit that's going to help you survive. Now, the next one is going to be getting a roommate, right? So if you're graduating from college, maybe you're 23, 24, 25, this is the most normal time to have a roommate. You don't want to be 35 and still have a roommate. But if you're in your 20s, I think it's a little acceptable to have a roommate. And this is going to allow you to save so much money on the rent. In my apartment, I have a roommate. We split the rent in half. I'm paying half the rent, and my roommate pays the other half of the rent, and all the other bills are split in half. So you essentially save a lot of money by having a roommate. But you can't do that forever. You can only do it in your 20s, I think. I think that's when it's acceptable. Now, the next one is going to be stop traveling, save your money. I see a lot of people that talk about, I love to travel. And as soon as they get a paycheck, they're booking their next vacation. They're on a cruise. They're in Miami. They're in New York. Save your money. Save as much money as you can. And instead of traveling, use that money to pay off some of your debt. If you have student loans or maybe a car payment, put in the extra payment. The money that you're going to use to travel, put it down towards your car payment so that you can pay that a little faster. Stop traveling. There's going to be time to travel later on. I only see that because I see a lot of my peers, like they travel, they're always on a cruise ship, but then they're also living paycheck to paycheck. Like, how do you do that? Save your money or put down that extra payment on all your loans that you owe. Now, the next one is going to be, you need to learn to dress like a professional. That means you need a suit, you need some dress shoes. I can't even begin to describe how many people I've seen wearing a suit and some sneakers on, some Jordans on. That is not professional. That is definitely not professional. Learn how to dress like a professional. You need to purchase a suit. And you can't even imagine how many people don't even own a suit since as they graduate from college. At least have one black suit that you can wear to maybe weddings, funerals, and stuff like that. And also you need dress shoes, not just Jordans and sneakers. You need some shoes that you can wear with a professional attire. And the next one's going to be going to networking events. Usually when you graduate from college, you're separated from the college life where you had access to a lot of people, a lot of events that were on campus. So the best way to recreate this environment is by going to networking events. I've seen there's a lot of Facebook groups. If you guys still use Facebook, it's a great place to find groups that are aligned with some of the things you might be interested in, or maybe networking events. They're usually like, oh, we're going to be at this bar, or we're going to be at this if you want to network, young professionals or something like that. I've seen a lot of those groups on Facebook that you can join and go to networking events in public places. Go to public places only, because it could be a little sketchy if you're just going randomly. And take a friend, right? Or sometimes you can even volunteer as alumni for your university. Maybe go back to speak and network with like the students, maybe mentor some of the students that are in college. Now, the last one on my list is going to be learning how to budget your money, right? You see a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck. Someone making $100,000 a year and they live paycheck to paycheck, right? And usually when I talk to people like that, which might be my friends or maybe friends of friends, I try to break it down between needs and wants. Needs, I'm like, okay, how much is your rent? Well, my rent is at $1,200. I'm like, how much do you make a month? Let's say like $5,000 a month, right? How much is your rent? My rent is 1,200. Car payment, 200 and something. Insurance, maybe $100. And then I'm like, what else do you need to pay? We go over the things, the bills that they need to pay. Do you have student loans? Yes. How much are they? 300 and something, or something like that, right? So after identifying all the needs, we subtract that from the monthly income, and you see that there's an extra $2,000 that's left. I was like, okay, where's this money going? And then the conversation goes into, well, I went out last month and I got bottle service at the club, which cost me about $500. And I also had a little vacation in Miami. Yeah, that cost me about another thousand. And then now you start to realize where they're wasting their money on, right? So learning how to budget allows you to keep track of where your money is going. And if you know where your money is going, you know exactly how you are overspending on certain things that you might not need. All right, so that is pretty much it for this video. Those are some of the things that I've learned ever since I graduated from college. I think if you guys are about to graduate from college, or you graduated and these are some of the things you weren't even aware of, these are things that you might be interested in learning and knowing how to do. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to add any more things that you think people should learn as soon as they graduate from college. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.